Hi, and welcome to part 2 of the Heal Thy Child workshop. This workshop is, of course, purely educational. Nothing in this workshop is intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any medical disease. Please don't start any healthcare program or stop any healthcare program without consulting a licensed healthcare professional. Now, we were talking about things that could affect and have a negative effect on the brain. And there are other things that can certainly have a negative effect on the brain. One of those things are toxins. See, toxins can cause damage or irritation to brain cells. Some of these toxins are known as excitotoxins because they irritate or excite the brain cells. I call this condition toxic brain syndrome. So how do you think a child would act if their brain was overstimulated or overirritated by toxins? Well, they would fidget and they'd squirm. They'd often leave their seat in situations where sitting quietly is expected. They'd move around constantly, often running or climbing inappropriately. They'd talk excessively, and they'd have a difficult time in playing quietly. They may seem like they're always on the go, almost as if driven by a motor. They may blurt out answers without waiting to be called on to hear the whole question. They may have difficulty waiting their turn. They may interrupt others. They may intrude on other people's conversations or games. There may be an inability to keep powerful emotions in check, resulting in angry outbursts or temper tantrums. It's my opinion that essentially the symptoms of ADHD could be the same or similar to the symptoms of having too many toxins irritating the brain, causing an overexcitation of the brain cells. If you have too many toxins irritating the brain cells, causing an overstimulation, you can have an ADHD type situation. If you have too little neurotransmitters being made, possibly due to an intestinal dysbiosis, you might have a child that has ADD type symptoms. Toxins getting into the body can also have a negative effect on the immune system, producing things like sinus problems, asthma, and being sick too often. Doing the correct lab helps you determine the exact toxins so you know how to support its removal. You can look at the hair for things like mercury, aluminum, and other toxic metals. You look in the urine for types of toxic compounds that have a negative impact on the health of the brain and the health of the function of the child. Other things that can have a negative impact on a child's health are food sensitivities and food intolerance. An intolerance is when a person does not possess the enzyme to break a food down. You've probably heard of people being lactose intolerant. These people have a low amount of the enzyme lactase and cannot break down the sugar in dairy. If a child is missing the enzyme to break down gluten, which is a protein found in many breads and grains like wheat, that child is then called gluten intolerant. This can cause a big problem because the undigested gluten gets converted into the body into a substance called glutenorphine, which is a morphine type substance. This can dull a child's senses and produce a weak immune system and ADD type symptoms. Some of the symptoms children can get if they have food sensitivities would be ear infections, and getting sick too often, being tired, irritable, a lack of concentration, and zoning out when reading. They can also develop skin problems, such as rashes and itchiness, psoriasis, and eczema. Kids today are overfed and undernourished. You would need to eat 65 bowls of spinach today to have the same amount of iron as one bowl of spinach did back in 1945. So why do you think that's so? One of the main reasons is the commercial farming has overfarmed the soil, and the minerals in the soil are then removed because there's too much farming being done. So if there's no minerals left in the soil, then there's no minerals left for the vegetables that are growing there. This is why I feel that unless you're eating an all-organic food type diet, your child really needs to be on some type of whole food nutritional supplement. In our clinic, we use many different lines of nutritional products. One of the product lines that we use is called standard process whole food supplements. And one of the reasons why we use standard process supplements are because of how they're made and where they come from. Meaning standard process supplements are not synthetically made in a laboratory. Instead, they grow many of their own crops on a 1,000-acre lush organic farm. This farm has dark mineral-rich soil. These fresh foods are then harvested, cleaned, and the water is removed. What's left over is a high-potency whole food that is then capsuled and placed for sale. This is great for kids who don't get enough fruits and vegetables. So intestinal problems, problems with food, poor nutrition, are just a few of the things that can have a negative impact on a child's health and his or her behavior. But we don't want to simply label a child with ADD and ADHD. After all, we're not looking to diagnose or cure any type of condition. What we're looking to do is to try to find the cause of the child's problem. For example, when you step on a dog's tail, where does the bark come from? Good. So should we drug the dog, get him to stop barking? How about should we just cut out the dog's tongue to get him to stop barking? See, when we're dealing with a health issue, we're looking towards finding the cause. After all, if you find the cause to the health problem, then the body can heal itself from the problem. If you do this for a mom, a dad, and kids, you can then create a happy, healthy family, which is our overall purpose. Also, many times, children themselves, they don't need to have expensive labs run unless they have major problems, like ADD, ADHD, different disorders. And again, we're not looking to diagnose these children. That's not our intention. And we're not saying that we're treating ADD or ADHD or any of these disorders with nutritional supplements or the use of labs. What we're trying to do is find out what that child's body is missing, what that child's body needs, so it could then heal itself. We fully believe that a child's body has the ability to heal. It just sometimes needs certain vitamins and minerals or substances to get it to do so. So or just by bringing your child in to be examined and placed on the right supplements can make a big improvement in their health. Many of the kids' supplements are in the liquid form, so they're easy to take and they taste good, so it's not a problem there. Normally the child's exam is half off because parents are patients, so their child's exam is normally 50% off. However, right now we're running a special, and the child's exam is only $25 for a complete new patient exam, including consultation and evaluation. And if you live far away, or if you have kids that live far away that are off at college or something, it's not a problem. We have patients that live all over. We have people that live in Mexico, Nigeria, England, Mississippi, New York, New Jersey, Georgia, Illinois, Ohio. I mean, really all over the U.S. and in different parts of the world itself. So, if your child needs help or someone in your family needs help, please bring them in. Let us examine them. Let us muscle test them to find out what's wrong. If we need to do labs, let's get the right labs done, and let's create a happy, healthy family.